Hi, everybody. It's Sharon, the Accidental Art Maker. I hope you're having a lovely Thursday. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. My name is Sharon. I've been upcycling furniture for over 10 years now. Love all things creative. A couple years ago, I opened my own store online selling iron orchid design, DIY paint, recycled and made by Marley, and I love it all. One of the things I have found over the last few years since I've moved my business, and I work a full-time job, and I'm a mom and a partner, is that I don't make time for art that much as I used to. So I challenged myself this year to do what I'm always urging my customers to do, which is to make time every day to do art. And that's what I've been doing since January 1st. I have been doing art at least 10 minutes a day. And I want to see, let's see here. I don't have it here anymore. I was looking for a graphic I had to explain this. The concept of this book I was reading was people think that you get inspired and you get motivated and you go and you do something. But really, what happens is you do something, you get motivated, and then you get inspired. So you're not going to get inspired to create art. Um, Most likely, unless you just start doing something. So creating art 10 minutes a day is doing something. Yes, it is. So let's get down to business. So the last few weeks I've been working, or the last week, the last 5 days, one of the things that happens too when you start doing this is that you start making art, and you're kicking it out. At least that's what's been happening with me. So I've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got two up behind me. I've got six boards that I've been working on that I've started out with a layer of paint, and then I have an IOD inlay, and then I have a variety of decoupage on these boards. And what I want to do today is stamp these guys. And I think I had originally put in the description I was going to paint with ink and paint, but I realized I'm going to do ink first, let it dry, and then come back and do paint tomorrow. So to that end, what I was trying to figure out was what stamps will I be using tonight, and how will I figure out what I want to do with ink and what I want to do with paint. So I'm going to show you guys some different stamps that I have here. So this is called Vintage Textures. I think this one is called Reverie. I'll come back and put it in the notes. Oh, it is Reverie. The names are up here in the corner. I should know that since I sell these. And then this is called Franz. And then this is called something Wreath. I don't think it's Winter. I think it might be called Winter Wreath. I'll have to find that out and look it up. This is old enough where they don't have the name of the stamp on here. This one I know is called Heavenly. I love the angel wings, and I actually haven't used them yet. And I was thinking they would look really great on this. And then I said to myself, okay, Sharon, you've picked all these stamps that you like, you think will work really well. Now you need to pick a stamp that you've barely used at all, you don't like too much, it's not really your aesthetic, and you're not sure if it's going to go with your art. So pick that out and kind of push your comfort zone. And so I picked this one out right here. It's called Catwalk, and it's kind of like a print of a cat. And I've actually have used it a couple times in my art. I've used it as background and then put translucent paint over it. So I may or may not use this. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I do want to challenge myself with this. So once I picked out my stamps, the next question is, do I want to use ink with this stamp or paint with this stamp? And since I'm not sure about this, I think this one would be paint. So I'm going to put this in the paint pile. These wings, I want to do these wings in purple paint. So this goes into the paint pile. This I'm going to be using kind of like to make connectors in between my series of art here for some cohesiveness, and I want this to be ink. So this is going into my ink pile. This is going to go into my ink pile also, and I reserve the right to use it for paint if I change my mind. And then this right here, I'm going to save for the paint pile. And then this right here, I think I'm going to reserve for the paint pile too. So I've divided my stamps up into 2 different piles. I'm going to put the paint ones out of the way because I'm going to be using them tomorrow. And if you want to see me do that live, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, it's Friday and I might just do it off camera. Well, film it and then put it later. So that leaves me 2 with ink, which is okay. Now I'm going to switch cameras because I want you to see I've kind of got like this little, you're going to have to bear with me with cameras tonight because I want you to see I kind of have this production line set up with my art for stamping, and you're going to see why I have done that, because I don't want to stamp just one at a time. I want to stamp, I like stamping across the art. So let me show you. I'm going to move the camera up here, and I'm just going to apologize in advance if this is shaky. And let me get rid of my chair here. I've got let's see here. So you can see I'm just going to put it this way like this. And then I've got 2 more down here. So let me move the camera. I got a big old, let's see if I can move the camera back here so you guys can see more. That did not really help much, did it? Give me 1 sec here while I adjust. I should have done this before. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so there we go. You can see most of my layout right here that I'm doing. I've got my 2 stamps. I'm going to start with this one first. And I'm going to use a thin mount. I've got this one right here. So a thin mount helps you with so many different things. I'm using it specifically right now for obviously for the stamps. It's great to hold the stamps. And so now what I'm looking for is I'm putting this stamp across the different pieces here. I love how the stamps have the black ink on it, and I could see how different little vines here would look traveling across the different artwork that I've done here. So to give you an idea, and I'm not going to use all of them. I'm going to pick out a few of them, and I've been eyeing this one right here. And I also like the one with all the little flowers on it also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the top right here, and I'm going to remove, I don't think I've ever used this one before. Give me 1 second. All right. So if you haven't used IOD stamps before, I could have sworn I think I might have just used this one. I am just worried that I haven't prepped this, which means I haven't taken a piece of sandpaper and just kind of gently gone along the top here. There's like a little bit of a coating on top that we want to remove, and I'm just gently going over this. I'm kind of guessing I haven't done it yet with this, but I don't want to take any chances. And then if you go the opposite way like this, it doesn't need a lot. Just a wee bit there. Okay. Easy peasy. And now back to peeling this off. Sometimes when you get your stamps, these can be really hard to pull off. It feels like you're almost going to be breaking them, but fear not. Actually, let me take that back. I have had one customer that pulled one of hers and the stamp ripped somehow. You know who you are. All right, so now I have these 2. I'm going to put this out of the way. And I've got my clear sheet here. That was with the stamp. And these can be handy just to protect things as you're moving along. So I'm going to keep it nearby. And I don't want to do both of these together. So I'm going to take this one off. And I'm going to start with this stamp right here. I haven't placed it any particular way. I just know it's going to be easier for me to use this long piece on a thin mount than if I were to try to do it freeform with my hands. And now I'm going to bring up, I call this my ink bucket. But I've got a bunch of inks here. I'm going to start with a blue. There we go, that blue. I've got Oceans Deep. And what I'm curious to see is how does this look on the paint versus the paper? So where I have decoupaged paper down. And do I even want to stamp on the decoupage paper? I'm not feeling any huge urge to do that right now, but that may change once I start doing that. So I'm inking this up. I'm just squeezing a little bit of ink on this, and then now I'm just rubbing it around like that. And I'm going to say hi to Dee here. Hey Dee, how are you? All right, got my ink on here. Give that a moment to soak up. And there we go. It takes a little bit. I think I had enough in here. It's probably pretty good. And now it's pretty simple. You just stamp the stamp. You don't want to press down really hard, because then you get ink on your thin mount, and then that can transfer. Maybe that's a look you want, but I'm not going for that today. Okay, so now I've inked this up, and I kind of want to cross over these two right here, these two partners in crimes. And don't worry, I'll hold this up to show you what it looks like when I'm done. And now I'm holding down with one hand and pushing with the other, and I'm stamping basically. All right, now we're gonna pull this up. Oh, that looks pretty. Let me show it to you. Just make sure I don't put my fingers in the ink. So you can see how I've got that going over there. And then let's put this back down. And then I did like the idea of another little fern just coming in here on the bear. So I'm going to ink this up right here, just the end of it again. And I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to come across the bear right here and push down. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that looks interesting. Let me show you. So the bear's got a little bit going on there. It looks like he's peeking out of the woods at you. I like that. Okay. And so now I have over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little switcheroo right here. I'm going to move these two down. I'm going to come back here with this, and I have, I'm going to do it like this. Okay. I'm going to move this like this, so I've got more paint to paint right there. And you know, I could do a little bit. I'm going to shift it up a little bit, because I could do, it doesn't have to be directly side by side. So I could do something, you see how this is moved down? I could come in here and do something like that. Kind of like that. Let's try that and see what it looks like. So I'm going to stamp the stamp, ink it up, get it nice and juicy. Now you might be asking, what's the difference between ink and paint? So for me, paint is a lot more, it's a little bit messier, and it's not as crisp as the ink. And I'll show you a little bit more tomorrow, but it also has like more texture to me. Like this feels pretty flat with the ink, which is fine. It's kind of what I want for this look I'm going for. All right, I think my dog is having a dream, so if you hear any yapping. All right, and then there we go. All right, let me hold it up for you so you can see. It's kind of hard to see here because there's so much going on, which is fine. And then I've got that popping in over here. And now the question is, how about on this side? How about like a loop coming in here across there? Let's try that and see what that looks like. I just want to make sure I'm not smudging any other ink. Like the one I'm just tapping on top of. Okay, so now we got this. I have to remember I've got that other wreath that I want to stamp also. And I'm just going to come, let's see. Like this. Okay. And so here you can kind of see where they're overlapping a little bit, but now there's like a whole lot of like energy going on up here in this piece. And then on here, you can see I've got my stamp up here, and this one is down in here. So I think we're good with that stamp on these pieces, but wait, there's more. Let me pull out, I've got 2 more pieces up here. I have these 2 also. And I'm wondering, how would this look? Like there's nothing on these 2 boards that say, well, that kind of says flowers and outdoors, but there's nothing really on here that says vines or anything like that. So I'm not going to use this stamp on these boards. Now, one second. I'm just going to give my stamp a quick wipe with a wipe. I see a little bit of ink there that I smudged, no worries. So I'm cleaning off the ink. And I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to grab this. This is the other stamp I want to use. And it's kind of hard to tell right now, but it's got like little vines and it looks like little flowers growing. And I'm not going to use blue since I've used blue already. What color should I use? Let's see. I don't want red. I'm not interested in black. So that kind of leaves green. Let's try green. And the next question is, do I have green ink lying around somewhere? I do not. Okay. There's colors in here. Oh, I do have green ink. Yay! All right. I haven't used green for a while, so I know this stamp needs a little bit of juice. Let me show you guys. And now after I squeeze it on, I'm just kind of massaging it in. I give it a little bit more. Okay, now let's ink this up. I am kind of curious to see how this green vine would look going across these two. So I am just going to go for it and see what happens. Let's see. That is, I kind of like that. What do you guys think? I like it so much, I want to do it a little bit more. All right, let's get some more ink on this and go back. Let's just, oh, I know, like it's coming out of the train. Let's see. Can you guys see that? It's kind of hard to see, but I'm trying to make it look like it's the smoke coming out of the train stack or whatever you call that. Let's see. I like that. All right, I'm going to do one more on this. What have it going? Yeah. Like that. Yes. And I'm just going to let it overlap here onto the watch face. Let's see what happens. It's really getting kind of lost in there because there's already so much going on. So I'm going to have to think about that and get back to that. I'm going to put these off to the side. I'm going to pull back in, whoops, these two. And I would like to see some of the green vine kind of coming along down here. And I like to kind of see it cross over into this space again. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And you know, the other thing I can do too, let me do this. Let's see. If you've been watching this series, you saw me put down paint first for letters for my Side-Eye Sally piece. No, I did paint first, and then I went on top of the paint with the ink. And that gave it like a really cool shadow effect. And we can do the reverse here. We can have ink down first, and then if I really like this, I could come back in with a little bit of paint on top. So that's looking pretty cool too. Also, I'm liking that. Here, let me have them so they're both kind of, I like that very much. Now I want to do a little bit more green vine on this one, and maybe on this guy too. Let's do it. Okay. Don't have to twist my arm. Okay. I just want to find a place to stamp where I'm not smudging ink that's wet. Okay. Oh, no, I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. I'm always making a mess. Okay. Okay. Let's get this wiped down. I'm going to wipe this. You can kind of see right there where I got messy. Oh my goodness. All right, let's come in here Now, do I want this? Yeah. Do I want this going across the spoon? Yes, because I have a feeling the fork and spoon are going to become significant background as I do this more and more. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. There you go. I like it. Okay. I'm going to stop there with this piece and ink, these two. Now I'm going to look at my green vine on these two boards over here. So let's move these over here. Whoops. And let's get this over here. All right. Green vine. Now, actually move you over here like that. Over here. Okay. So, what I want the vine kind of going across their faces to make it look like they are peeking out from behind a bush. And would it look like that with this stamp? Or would I want it to cross over up here? Maybe coming down across their ears just a wee bit. I think we'll do that. I think we'll just have it kind of cross over. Let's do that. Let's see what it looks like. It's like I know I don't want to mess with their eyes. I love their eyes. Okay, so something like this. Yep, I think I just smudged it a little bit. Let's see. I like that. I like it across the fox's ears. I think this needs some more, a few more strands of green coming through. I know it's really hard to see. Sorry about that. I'll take pictures and post pictures later. Yeah, you can kind of see it like that. All right, let's get these guys some more greenery. Let's see here. I just need a little bit of space here. And I've got a wipe. You can kind of see here where I've been too heavy-handed with the stamp. I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch sides like this. Or maybe fall back to that. Okay. Decisions. No. Okay. Okay. I like the interaction between the green and the blue stamp there. And this one I'm not so sure about. Like I like the green kind of spinning around down near his ear, but the details really get lost here with this sunflower back there. So, which is, you know, it happens. Okay. Do we need any more for this? I don't think so. I think we're good. Hey, Amanda. I was just talking, I didn't say your name earlier, but I could not remember the name of a stamp. I was like, if Amanda was here, she would know. Yeah, so I'm thinking we're good with the ink. Oh, you know what? Didn't I have one more? Oh, I had the leaves. I don't want to put leaves on these now because I had these and that looks like enough greenery. So that makes me wonder, are there any other stamps that any of these right now I want to ink up and put on? I know I want to use Heavenly. I know I want the wings for paint, but I want to make black cheetah print ink anywhere. No, I would not. Do I want texture? Different colored texture? No. I think I want to come back in here with the paint and be really heavy-handed with some paint and stamping paint tomorrow night. So, yeah, the ink, I'm liking the ink, but I don't know, like I really like stamping with paint. So I think I'm going to stick with that. You guys are just hearing my my thought process, so apologies. Hey, Kim, how are you? Good to see you. And yeah, team stamps. Yeah, so I think I'm feeling like I'm at a stopping place now, but I know I'm not done. I'm sure you guys understand that makes sense. Like, so I still want to come on here with paint and paint some stamps. And for these guys right here, let me grab the other one. I was thinking about coming in because that's a really strong pattern on the inlay on top, and I might just come in and smudge some paint around to break up the pattern. I'm not sure yet. And then maybe stamp on top of that. That could look really cool. Like I like what I have going on here with the train. Like I'm trying to make it look like smoke is coming out of the train stack right there, but it's really getting lost in this inlay. So what if I came in here and painted just some like white here like that, and then came back in with the same stamp and but with paint, and then stamped on top of that. So I think that could look really cool. That's kind of where my mind is going now. So there's more paint and stamping to come. And then I'm hoping with the grand finale will be some transfers to put on top. And the transfers, whatever they will be, would be in the foreground. And this would be like everything else would be kind of like multi-dimensions and background and stuff like that. So, all right. So I think I've got a creative plan that will fester in my brain for the next 24 hours until I have time to do art again. Let me just switch cameras here so that I can give you guys a proper goodbye. Thanks for joining. And oh, okay. Somebody was outside my yard. Thanks for joining. I hope you guys are doing the 10 minutes a day. I hope you make time for it. I have found it simply enlightening in so many different areas of it's like I'm really flexing my creative muscles, both with my art, but also technically getting comfortable in front of the camera and talking to you guys all the time. And I'm really enjoying coming on here and talking to you guys too. So that's been fun. Anyways, yeah. Amanda's saying, I'm loving the layers. Yeah, I love the layers too. I think it just gives it lots of personality. And it's really hard to mess up. If there's anything I don't like I said, like with the train, I like the idea, but I don't like the execution. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to execute it the way that I think will make sense and give me goosebumps. So stick along for the ride, come back. I might not be filming tomorrow night. It's Friday, and I might do a live. I'm not sure. But even if I don't do a live, I'll still film it and post it so you guys can see the direction this all is heading in. All right. You all have a great night. Bye.